And welcome to our first live show in forever. We have not done a live stream in the longest time. We are back on this channel, which is a little weird because we haven't been doing this in forever. And I'm very excited. My name is Jacob London, and I am, of course, joined, as always, by my co host, Taylor Robinson. How are you?
I'm good. It is a little weird to be doing a live show again. I feel like we've kind of just chilled out, taking a step back, haven't really done much, but I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for NFL to start up again. So this is going to be fun.
It is definitely going to be very, very fun, and I am very much looking forward to it. But we are, of course, also joined by our wonderful co-panelists today. JTE, how are you?
What's going on? Represent the Patriots. It's going to be a rough year for us. Just going to get that out of the way. So, I'm sure you all have something to say about it. It's not going to be a good year for the Patriots if the preseason has been any indication, but you never know. That's the thing about football. Every year before football starts, people say who's going to be the best, who's going to be the worst. And sometimes it doesn't play out that way. Sometimes the team you think is going to be great actually turns out to be horrible. Sometimes you think the team – who had the Bengals in the Super Bowl last year? I know I didn't. So anything could happen.
And we are also joined by the one who's not representing anybody, and that is Chance Allison.
I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I do have a jersey, but it's for a player that I do not have fond memories of. I'll let you figure out which one. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk some football.
I'm trying to. There's two that I'm debating about which one it is, and they're for two very different reasons.
Just take again. Your first hit is probably right.
Fair enough. Well, today's going to be very laid back. We're just going to look at the season going forward and what we think are going to be. We're going to make some big predictions about what are some of the big moments from the year, some of the stats, and then, of course, we're going to give our takes on the Super Bowl winners, the MVPs, and go from there. So before we do that, Chance, introduce yourself a little bit about your sports fandom.
Yeah, so I've been around football my entire life. My dad played pro. I played for about 10 years. So I think I have a pretty good grasp on the game. I've been watching my entire life. So yeah, football is just something, and I'm a Texas boy, so football is just something that's been in my DNA forever. I love the game. It's my favorite sports. I can literally talk this game whenever, wherever, for as long as they don't want to hear me. So yeah, this is something I feel a great connection to, and this season is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun time.
I'm very much looking forward to this season. I think it is going to be a lot of fun. JTE, tell us a bit about yourself.
I mean, I've been blessed with the greatest quarterback for the most of my football watching life. Not Drew Bledsoe, although I did like him. What's that?
When was Aaron Rodgers a Patriot?
There's only one number 12. It is not
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
No, it's not Aaron Rodgers.
He's not even the best TB12. Terry Bradshaw.
Listen, there's no denying. You can say all you want, but everyone knows who the GOAT is. If I just put a GOAT emoji on Twitter, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, why are you talking about Brady?" it's just the truth.
They'll say, "Why are you talking about Lawrence Taylor or Jerry Rice or Jim Brown?" But
sure, maybe your dad, your grandpa will think that, but the kids today will know what the GOAT is all about. It is Tom Brady. Listen, I've been blessed. I'm ready for some, rocky waters coming ahead. I watched Troy recently, the Wolfgang Peterson film, and watching Achilles, it was like watching Tom Brady. I feel like that's what it was kind of like. Oh my God. I think Hector was more like Peyton Manning. And so it's a lot of perspective. I'm glad he unretired, because when he retired, I wasn't ready. I was like, wait a minute. I thought you were coming back for another year. I wasn't mentally prepared for him to leave. Now I'm kind of going in with that this is probably his last season, so I will cherish every game I get to watch him in.
I mean, part of me wish this whole Dolphins thing ended up working, because that would have been insane.
Is there a part of you that is worried about one season too long?
That was 5 seasons ago, so no. Okay. I think Brady, it's all about the weapons around him. He had that really rough year with the Patriots because the Patriots put no weapons around him. He's too good of a quarterback. Even a diminished Brady, if this is his last season, he's not quite up to those standards. It's still going to be better than more than 70% of the quarterbacks out there.
Oh yeah, that I'll agree with. That I definitely will agree with. All right, Taylor, tell us a little bit about your sports love.
Sure. Well, I definitely grew up in a NFL house. My stepdad is a Cowboys fan. My mom grew up in Chicago, so she's a Bears fan. Growing up, my dad was a Pittsburgh fan. So I had a lot of football going on in my house from a lot of different angles, a lot of different things going on. I grew up a Cardinals fan because I was born in Phoenix, but my team is the Chargers because I've always been an LA person at heart, for sure. So between the Chargers and the Cardinals, I've suffered a lot for a long time. And I'm hoping that doesn't continue with at least one of those teams this season. The other team, I'm really not so sure about after last season, how that all ended. So we'll see what happens.
I'm just amazed the Chargers have a fan. Like, this is amazing.
Listen,
I've never met a Chargers fan before. This is great.
Well, you're welcome, first of all. Nice to meet you. I will be the lone Chargers fan if I have to be. I will take on that burden. I will do it.
Quarterback, wide receiver, O-line. All we need now are fans.
Oh man. So I obviously, as the one who didn't grow up with football, so I'm the one who who obviously knew what American football was, but no one really explained the rules to me until an infamous Super Bowl that most people don't talk about because it's very painful, except JTE is very excited about that one. So the 1 yard line. The 1 yard line Super Bowl. So that was the first game I ever watched because my mate is a diehard Patriots fan, and he was like, he woke me up, and we went to a bar at like 10 o'clock in the morning and watched the Super Bowl that day, which was really fun. And I that day had to be a Seahawks supporter, and that was rough. That was rough. But since then, I've kind of had a passing relationship with football, and then ever since Taylor moved here, I've really started to like dive head first, and this is now football. This is real football for me. I much prefer this sport. Like, I have missed.
I got two questions for you, Jacob,
Yep.
if I can. One, what was your friend's reaction to the interception? I just want to know that real quick. Like, was he... I almost flew. Like, what was his? What happened?
We were in a bar, and it was a pretty quiet bar, to be perfectly honest. There wasn't very many people there.
Okay.
And when it happened, he could basically deafen everyone. He was screaming and absolutely
I mean, I was
over the
rooting for the
moon.
Seahawks that game. If I'm not like a fan of the team, but if I was a Seahawks fan, I would have cried.
I mean, I was not really being that invested. I was just sitting there like, God damn it, I'm now got to buy him a drink because they've lost the game. Like, that was my disappointment that I had to buy him a drink. But yeah, I like going back now as someone who understands the significance of what that moment meant.
I mean, that destroyed the franchise. Like, the Seahawks were in a dynasty, had it not been for that one play.
Yeah, like
the other question though, why do you think football is so popular in America but has yet to really? I mean, it is becoming more popular in like London and other countries, but why do you think it just hasn't caught on like other sports like the NBA?
I think because it's probably one of the most. It's much slower than you are expecting than any other sport. So if you watch soccer, which is going to get me yelled at, AFL or rugby league. Or
sound like a true American already.
Those four, which are probably the main pillars of other football codes in the world, they're all very fast.
Okay.
They're fast-paced game. They do like the biggest problem in those games are stop-starts. When the game stop-starts, people hate it and it ruins the games. Whereas and that is essentially what NFL is. NFL is a very stop-start sport, and it has to be. So I think that's why it hasn't really caught on. But I think and a lot of people don't understand the rules. They don't understand that the reason it's stop-start is because all you're trying to do is get 10 yards. That's it. That's all you're trying to do. And they don't quite grasp that concept. And that's why I think it's starting to take off a little bit more overseas because people are starting to grasp that. My dad, for instance, he's really starting to fall in love with it. Like he loves watching these games. Like I've gotten him into
great.
them. And you know, like we go down on weekends and when it's on and try and watch it because it's hard to watch it here as well because it's on a Monday. So people are back at work.
Like 3 a.m. on a Monday.
Yeah. So, you know, it's worth it for me. I get up at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Can you record it and watch it later, or you just prefer to watch live?
I hate watching recorded sport.
I know. I do it when I have to, but
yeah. Like
I try not to.
I'm like I said, like a good game you can watch whenever. I can go back and watch good games from last year and watch them now because they were good games, and it doesn't really matter. If someone says, "Hey, it's a bad game," I'll just check the score. I won't care.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I mean,
it's very hard for me to watch a recording.
I know nothing about rugby. Like everything I know about rugby, I learned from Invictus with Matt Damon and Morgan Freeman. So, like maybe if I understood the rules, and I just never.
That's the bad one. That's the bad rugby. That's
really? There's two rugbies.
There's rugby.
Is it like American football and Canadian football? Is it
kind of?
Like
yeah.
Okay.
Kind of. So rugby league is the one that we watch that we follow and love. And if you see my tweets of me,
I see your guys' tweets, and I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about, but all right.
That's what I'm screaming and yelling about. Rugby union is the one that's played on a world stage, but no one watches it. That's the All Blacks. Like,
gotcha.
No one watches it, but it is played on a world stage.
Gotcha.
But yeah, anyway.
I don't understand the rules of rugby union, so
rugby union makes no sense. Rugby union is so technical and it makes no sense whatsoever, and it's boring as batshit. I really don't like watching rugby union. So that's my relationship with it. And I've started to fall more in love with NFL, and especially now that it's the sport I look forward to. I have football on right now that is going into the finals. Like the finals are on right now, and I'm much more excited for week 1 of the NFL than I am for the finals.
USA.
You have converted me.
I love it.
What's the name of the first Harry Potter book?
No, you will
Depends where you live.
You will never ever get me to say sorcerers. Ever.
Well,
it is not.
Ben, you're never going to be American. You're never going to be a real American.
I own
Harry Potter's not even American.
I own 3 copies of that movie, and all 3 of them are philosophers, and it will never say sorcerers.
Why did they change that for us? Was it like
it was
American morons?
The philosophers sounded boring, and it does sound boring.
It does sound more boring. I'll give them that.
Sorcerer's Stone. Okay.
There's a movie called Sorcerer or Philosopher. I'm going to go see Sorcerer. 100%. There's even a great William Freakin movie called Sorcerer. So I'm definitely going to go see Sorcerer.
You're not going to win in this group, Jacob.
I know.
It's 3v1 right now.
All right. Do you prefer? Oh, okay. You're on our side. Okay. That's all.
Yeah. I give him so much shit all the time, constantly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. We were watching it the other day, like a couple months ago, and I'm like, hey, get ready for it. Get ready for it. Because they only say it like 3 times in the movie.
But it does change how they say it in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, because it's always off screen and it's like overdubbed. So
it's like Pirates of the Caribbean called like Pickpockets of the Caribbean over there or something.
No. I'm
trying to think like make every movie less interesting.
I'm trying to think like what one of the most famous ones is. I mean, so Neighbors is called Bad Neighbors here.
That's not bad. Like I even think that might be better.
It's because it's because of the TV show.
The show.
Oh, that's
which is now officially done. It is finished.
It's done.
Ended.
Did like Margot Robbie and everybody come back for the last?
Yeah, they got them all to come back for one episode.
Cool.
Yeah, that was. Cool. Anyway, let's talk about football. So, I'm thinking we'll do a bit more generic. What are your thoughts about this season? Like, what are you more looking forward to the most? And go around there, and then we can start doing some predictions. So, JT, what are you most looking forward to about this season?
That's a tough question. Listen, obviously, I buy NFL ticket. I'm going to watch my Patriots every Sunday morning, no matter what. But what am I most excited about? I guess to see and this does tie to the Patriots. I want to see growth from some of these rookie QBs or some of these QBs who are on the edge of signing a huge contract or are in their second or third year, and they have to make that step to be a quarterback that can survive in the NFL. Like Mac Jones had a really strong season for the most part, kind of started losing it towards the end, hasn't had a great preseason. As a Patriots fan, I need to see him take a step. I need him to become, Mahomes made leap and bounds like Lamar Jackson. Now he's not going to be able to do that because he is not mobile.
Said, like, I wanted to be Mahomes. I'm like,
no. That's not going to happen.
Let's take a seat.
That's not going to happen. He does not have the athleticism of those guys. So I need to see him make improvements with accuracy, decision-making, pocket awareness. And again, it's not just him though. Like Lamar Jackson did not sign that big contract that he wanted to sign. And this is going to be a make it or break it year for him. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to prove that he could do some stuff. Kyle Murray needs to prove some stuff. There's a lot of quarterbacks who need to make that next step. And I'm excited to see if some of them can make it and which ones can't, honestly.
So as a Patriots fan, I'm curious. All right, I'm gonna ask you this.
Okay.
Who do you think is going to have a better season? Mac Jones or Zach Wilson?
I'll say Mac Jones because he had a better season last year. I think Zach Wilson is in a horrible organization. I think they just have proven over and over again that they don't surround. They had a great draft. They picked up some good players. I just don't trust the organization to have their shit together to make him succeed. Even though I think he has some raw talent, and if he's in the right system with the right organization, I think he can be good. But Mac Jones literally does not have an offensive coordinator right now. Matt Patricia and Joe Judge are like splitting it up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Belichick's going to take over. So I'm just not sure what the hell's going to happen.
Does that worry you?
It worries me a little bit. Here's the thing. Josh Allen was there forever. Like you came there, you knew exactly what system you're in. Part of me, although this is what I will say as a Patriots fan, there were times last year where there was no question what play was coming up next for me. I was like, I know Josh McDaniels. This is going to be a screen pass to the left. Everybody in the stadium knows what's going to happen. He was so predictable that it was very frustrating at time. And part of me is excited to see somebody new get in there, but yet there is nobody. But I am excited for them to at least try something different. And I think Belichick and some of them talked about Jonnu Smith was somebody they paid a lot of money for, along with Henry. Not Derrick Henry. That's Hunter Henry. They paid a lot of money for those two tight ends. And while Hunter had played really well, Jones did not. And I think they're going to really kind of shape the offense to make those weapons more of a factor. So I'm excited to hopefully see that. And I'm excited not to have that predictability where I feel like everybody knows exactly what play is going to be called next. But I'm worried too, because I feel like when you're learning a whole new system, Mac Jones did a great job learning everything the first season, but then they threw that all out and they're doing something totally different. So there's going to be some growing pains. Belichick always says the first 4 games of the season is just an extended preseason for him. Like this team won't come together until week 5 or week 6. So I try not to panic for the first couple. I'd like to win. I'd like to win Miami, but I got to be patient. My patience will be tested this season. That's what I think.
Taylor?
Yeah, so I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what the hell is going to happen with the AFC West this season because, that's going to be fascinating to me. You potentially have 4 teams who should all make it into the finals, into the playoffs. And first of all, I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think there's going to be a team or 2 in the AFC West that has a record that should get them there. And just because it's such a freaking death division right now, potentially, that a team or 2 are going to miss out that shouldn't. And I'm fascinated to see which way that swings because Chargers need to perform this year. Have to. Absolutely have to. Cannot have a bad season. Cannot have a messy season. Raiders have to perform this year. They can't mess up this season. They had everything going for them going into the end of last season, did what they needed to do, and then completely flamed out.
This
Chiefs.
Is a little fast. Anyone want to call timeout?
Chiefs, if they don't make it, it's just going to be, well, the Chiefs didn't make it. They're supposed to be a dynasty. What are they doing? So they have to perform. And then the Broncos, there's a lot of anticipation of what they're going to be able to do or what they're not going to be able to do. I feel like people don't really know what to expect, and I think that's the most fascinating to me, to see if that team comes together at all, really.
Okay. Chance?
Well, in general, I'm excited to see a lot of these like playmakers that have changed teams and see what they do, in their new place. Whether it's Devontae with the Raiders or Tyreek with the Dolphins. What I'm particularly excited about is Allen Robinson with the Rams. I feel like Allen Robinson is maybe the most underrated receiver in the NFL. Like I would generally argue he's like a top 15, top 10 receiver. He just had and he's done those numbers having the worst run of quarterback I think of any elite receiver in the game today. But I want to see what he does when you put him in with a good team, with a good quarterback and a good system. So he's something I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the return of Derrick Henry. He's one of my favorite players right now. I genuinely do still think he is the best running back in the league. I know Jonathan Taylor, he did what he did last year, but if the only reason he was number one is because Henry got hurt. Had Henry played the entire season, he'd take his third straight rushing title, like no question.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see him come back. And as a Steelers fan, I'm excited to see what's essentially a new regime. We are now without the leader of men. So we got Mitch Trubisky, which that's real. He's our.
Has he been announced yet?
No, but he's going to.
Okay.
And at least God, I hope so, because I am not ready to put my new Lord and Savior Kenny Pickett's into potentially dangerous hands. Because I do.
He looks good though, man.
Pickett's gonna be a beast.
Watching the preseason game, it was like he looked bigger than everybody on. He was like the biggest guy on the freaking field. I was like, who is this guy? I don't know. Pittsburgh, I think they have a diamond in the rough right there.
Yeah. What are you talking? Are you talking Pickett or Pickens?
Pickett.
Okay.
Oh
okay.
no, yeah, Pickett.
Pickett, yeah, the QB, right? Kenny
QB,
Pickett.
yeah.
Okay, just making sure. It's confusing because we got Kenny Pickett and then George Pickens. But yeah. I mean, Kenny Pickett's our new Lord and Savior, but I'm not ready to send him to potentially die. I don't want him to get Justin Fields before his career even starts. But I'm excited to see what this team does, and Steelers got Super Bowl. That's what's gonna happen.
I feel I actually do feel genuinely sorry for Justin Fields, just because he is
going to die. Like, I still think he was the second best quarterback of that draft class, but that team is giving him no help.
No, I think if he went to the 49ers, Garoppolo's not there this year.
Absolutely. If he went to the Niners, if the Patriots got him,
yeah,
he's
well, I know Patriots fans wanted him. I know when it got there that they wanted him.
Yeah, I would still want him over Mac Jones.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because Mac Jones just doesn't have. He just looks like a plain quarterback. He's just going to make right decisions, get accuracy, but he's not going to extend the play.
He has no ceiling.
I don't know. It's hard.
Mac Jones has, and I'm not meaning this as disrespectful because he is the GOAT, and I can't believe I'm saying that. He is Brady. The problem is Brady wouldn't succeed now. If you put Brady in a system today, he wouldn't succeed. Brady 20 years ago, when the game was allowed for him so he could learn and then develop to become to the quarterback he is now.
Yeah.
He needed those 4 or 5 years when the game allowed him to develop. He couldn't do it now.
I understand what you mean.
So Mac Jones is going to have the problem with the game's not there for him to be able to develop into a elite quarterback.
That's a problem that Alabama QBs consistently have. The game just doesn't translate.
Yeah.
And again, I'm looking right at Tua. Tua, this year, for example, this is a make or break year for him. If that offense is if withers and dies, then they're taking a QB next year. Because I'm pretty sure they had their first rounder next. No, they don't. That's right. Their first rounder taken away. They're fucked.
I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have to go for someone off contract. Who are they gonna get? They really went all or nothing trying to get Brady, and it didn't work. And so that is the.
I got faith in Tua. I think he's gonna put it together.
I think Tua is not terrible. I do think he'll be able to do decently, but I am also a little bit worried about. I think the biggest problem a lot of these quarterbacks that have to prove something this year is they're in the AFC, which there's going to be losers in the AFC. We keep going, oh my God, how many of these teams are so good and everything? Yeah, there's the other side of that coin. You can't just have a division where all 14 teams are winning records. It doesn't work that way. So
What are you looking forward to, Jacob? What are you excited about?
I think the thing I'm most looking forward to is the AFC is to see what the hell happens with this AFC. But seeing as though people have started to already talk about that, I'm going to move on to the NFC. I am fascinated what happens with Aaron Rodgers this year. With the Packers.
What do you mean? Just because he lost Parker and
I don't think that's a good team at
No,
all,
Adams,
and I
Adams,
think they're in trouble.
Adams. Yeah, sorry, Adams.
I think they're in a lot of trouble, and I don't think that is a good team.
I don't think they're in that much trouble. I think they're not in as good a place because they lost a bona fide playmaker in Devontae Adams, but I don't think that's going to hurt them in the long run. And the reason is, what has Rodgers consistently done through his career? He's taken these no-name receivers and made them superstars. Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson. Look at fucking Robert Tonyan 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He made Robert Tonyan look like Tony Gonzalez. It's a key. Aaron Rodgers has made a career of playing with subpar receivers that they draft, and he makes it work. So I'm not that worried about the Packers in general.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to dominate the NFC North.
He's very similar to Brady in that, Brady was winning Super Bowls with Hogan and the Amendola, who would go off and not really do anything anywhere else.
Rodgers got success without a good defense. So I mean, imagine
Rodgers and Brady. That's one thing they make everyone around them better, which I think the greatest quarterbacks do.
All right. Let's move on let's do some fun predictions. All right. I'm going to start this one off with, what is the first team to do a 90-yard punt return? Chance.
This was tough. You had to look at the special teams, who's returning the ball. Because they just got a stud of a return man, I'm going to say the 49ers. They just picked up Ray McLeod at having been a Pittsburgh fan, having watched this guy for the past couple of years. I know he is that good. I know the 49ers as a team, their special teams are usually pretty well coordinated. So I think that I have them. I know there's one easy answer because of preseason, but I don't think it's going to happen for them, at least not first. I think it's going to be the 49ers.
Okay. Taylor?
Oh, gosh, I'm not ready. I don't know. I didn't do any research into this. So I did no research. I didn't really think about this. So I'm just going to pick a name out of a hat, and I'm going to say that it's going to be the Bengals for no reason whatsoever.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
I would love to see Jamar Chase try and return a punt.
That would be so good.
Amazing.
I mean, I'm kind of with Taylor, where this could be anybody. So I'm just gonna go with the Patriots and Gunner. Gunner was the third best returner.
He's not on the team anymore.
Huh? Gunner's still on team.
No, he's not. He's on my team.
They traded. I don't remember them trading him.
He didn't get traded. He got released.
What? Okay. Yeah, obviously I'm off. I didn't even hear that news. I must have missed that because I liked Gunner. Damn it! What are you doing, Bill Belichick? All right. Well, I'm still going Patriots. I don't even know who's returning punts now. Gunner's not there. I don't even know who's returning. That sucks. God. I like Gunner, man. Damn.
I know. I like Gunner too. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. All right, I switched my answer to you guys. Gunner, whoever Gunner's playing for. Damn, I didn't know they got rid of him.
I think because they're going to have to do something, considering their quarterback play is going to be terrible for the first 11 weeks, the Browns. Because they're going to have to be desperate of some way to win. I don't know. I'm just picking randomly out of the hat, and I'm also just trying to, kick a team while they're down.
That's a hard thing to pick. It's a hard thing to pick.
That's why I still want to the Cowboys. Kevontae Turbin's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, it's all about.
But it's the Cowboys. I don't trust Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
I don't either.
It's not always just a runner. It's just how good your special teams overall. And that's one thing I will say Patriots in the past have been really good at is their special teams. So,
All right. Who is the last team to be undefeated? JTE.
I'm going with the Bills. I'm putting a lot of my chips on the Buffalo Bills this year because watching that Kansas City game, there was a point where I said, whoever wins this is winning the Super Bowl. And I don't know how Kansas City blew that game against the Bengals because they should have won that game.
Mahomes hero ball. That's how.
I really feel Buffalo would have beat them.
I do too.
It was the best game of the year. I think that was the best game of the whole year.
Oh yeah,
it's better than Super Bowl. It was the best game. I think the Bills would have went all the way to Super Bowl and won it.
I think they would have beaten the Bengals and they would have beaten the Rams.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
So that's my choice. I'm putting a lot of my chips in the Bills this year. Let me tell you.
I have one that's a little out there. And I went and did the math because I did this earlier in the year, and it's actually the Vikings.
Really?
They have a very easy start of schedule, and I think that,
Packers though.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a lot of faith in the Packers this year, so I think it's going to be the Vikings.
It's so hard. It's so hard. I just want to say, like, to go by schedule because you just don't know what these teams are going to be. Like, there's so many times where I'm like, oh, this is a win, this is a win, this is a win, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know that team was going to be one of the best teams. So when I looked at that, I went more with what I just think is the best team.
That's fair. The reason why I say Vikings is I think they go to November and they have basically all very winnable games. Yeah. But it is the Vikings and they are known for blowing it. So
if any game comes down to a chip shot field goal, they're done. This is the Vikings.
Cousin.
Taylor.
So I'm going to begrudgingly say that I think it's going to be the Rams.
Mm.
I'm with her. I got Rams too.
Just because that division, like I haven't looked at their schedule, but anytime they play in division, I think they're pretty much going to win. And I really do think they're going to back it up from last year, at least to some extent. I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff again, unfortunately, but I have the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the Rams too. I did look at the schedule. I think the biggest challenge is week 1. If they can get past the Bills, after that, it's the Falcons, the Niners, the Cowboys, the Panthers, the Niners again, and then the Buck, which I think is going to be the first real challenge. I don't think the Niners have the juice. I know the Niners have like beaten them in the regular season every 2 or 3 years. I don't think they have the juice anymore, especially after the way their playoff run ended. So I think that if the Rams can win against Buffalo, which I think they will, which we'll get into later, if they can get past Buffalo, I think they'll be undefeated for at least like 6-7 weeks.
All right. Last team to win a game, Taylor.
Last team to win a game.
Yes.
Oh God.
So Lions last year.
Yeah. I know. This is an interesting one. I don't know if I have full confidence in this, but I'm kind of trying to manifest it, I guess, into existence, and I'm going to say the Browns. I'm manifesting that to the universe.
I see where you're coming from.
So there you go.
Yeah, Jacoby's not great, but Chubbs is so good. He'll give him. I feel like he'll give him a win somewhere.
I mean, you know what?
They play the Panthers.
And if they're gonna get one, it's gonna have to come from him.
Yeah,
for sure. Like I really don't think their offense is, for the most part, it's gonna be a rough start to their season. Hopefully, we can only hope.
Yep.
JTE.
I'm sticking with the Detroit Lions. I thought about Jaguars, but the reason why I'm going with Lions is because I've been watching Hard Knocks, and they don't look very good. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm watching. It feels like at times when I'm watching like a college team almost when I'm watching Hard Knocks. They just seem like they don't have anything. Their defense looks really bad, and their offense, I just don't trust Goff very much. I mean, Goff was good when he had all those weapons and McVay, but I just don't think you're getting that same kind of. Lions aren't going to give him the weapons that he needs to pull off some of these wins. And yeah, I like the coach. I do think there's some nice guys on that team. I like the team. I just don't think they look like a professional football team very much last season. And nothing from what I've seen from Hard Knocks in preseason has made me think otherwise.
Chance?
I got Atlanta. I think there is a genuine chance Atlanta goes like, oh, and say, look at the schedule for the first couple of weeks. New Orleans, LA, the Rams, Seattle, which is a toss-up. I think that Pete Carroll can at least out-coach them. Cleveland, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, and then Cincinnati. I think they have a really rough go at the start, so I think their offense is going to be looking pretty anemic this year. So
who's Atlanta's quarterback right now? I don't even know.
Mariota.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. I like Mariota at times, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, their only chance is being Seattle. If not, I generally think they're going to go like 0-7.
Okay.
Well, it's funny. I think it's going to be Seattle. I do not trust Geno Smith. I do not trust Geno Smith. Like they've got I don't think think Metcalf.
They have the weapons like between Metcalf and Lockett.
I don't think Metcalf's an elite wide receiver. I think he's a very good wide receiver that Wilson made look a lot better than he is. And I think Geno is not. I don't think he's going to elevate. I don't think he's going to elevate Geno into a very good quarterback. I think instead we're just going to get bad Geno Smith.
But yeah, they have like the Seattle. It's not a bad pick, but like you look at their schedule. Week 3 they have Atlanta. Week 4 Detroit. Those are 2 very winnable games for them.
I think Detroit's going to be better than I think Detroit is going to win the 50-50 games. They'll lose the ones that they're going to lose, but they'll win more of they'll be like the Raiders were last year, where you went.
What makes you think that? I'm just curious. Was it somebody they signed? Is it just the coaching?
I think the Lions. I think I liked their draft. I really liked their draft.
Yeah.
I like Aiden Hutchinson. I think he's going to be a very good pass rush.
Yep.
And I look, Goff's not amazing, but I think
it's fine.
I don't think he is as bad as some other quarterbacks that are still in the league. Like I think he is a starter right now in the NFL, but there's no backup that I'm like he is better than that. He is worse than the backup, other than maybe Garoppolo.
Yeah,
Garoppolo. But there are like 3 other quarterbacks that are worse than Goff that Garoppolo should be on instead. So yeah. All right. All right, let's move on to who is getting the first round pick. It's kind of the same thing, but
same question. Yeah.
I have a different answer. I don't think it's gonna be the Falcons.
Yeah, I think I do too.
I think it's the Texans. I think it's easily the Texans. Not easily, but I think the Texans are gonna make a pretty good case for it, just because I think talent-wise, they have like the worst roster of any team in the NFL. Like they do not have a good roster. I think Lovie Smith will do fine, but I don't think that team is built to win, or at least like win enough to get them out of the number 1 pick, which is what they should be aiming for. Is because like they are in the midst of another deep rebuild, so they really should be gunning for pick 1. Especially if David Mills, especially if General Mills is not the guy.
Yeah. I think this is really strange because it's happened twice now. But Chance and I are in agreement. That was also mine. So this is weird. But yeah, there you go. I think they're going to be terrible. I do not think it's going to be a good season for them.
I am going to go with the Bears. I think the Bears are in for a rough year.
I mean, they are, but I still think they have at least some pieces that'll get them to like some probable wins.
I don't know. I think they're in for a real rough year, and I'm going with the Bears. I think they're built around their defense that has just been completely gutted. They don't have an offense, and I just sorry, Peggy. Sorry, Peggy.
You're gonna have Peggy and my mom to deal with if that happens. I hope you know.
I don't know who I'm more terrified of, actually.
It's not Jacob's fault they didn't draft an offensive line or sign an offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, don't you, as a fan, don't you want the number 1 pick in some ways? Rebuild.
I mean, you do, but what you have to go through for a whole season to get there is a bit.
It's 12 months. That once you're eliminated, once it's mathematically gone, you're like, okay, let's just get this number 1
let's
pick.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, JT.
Yeah, I'll just stick with the Lions. I think they're going to be the worst team, so I'll stick with them.
No, I can name at least like.
I think Mills is going to be
worse.
I think Mills is going to be decent. I actually kind of like Mills. So I think Texans have really good running back. And is it Pierce or I think it's Pierce. Yeah. I think he's looked real. I watched one of the Texans, the Amazon game, and I was really impressed with the way he played. So I think Texans aren't going to be as bad as people think.
All right.
Jaguars, maybe.
All right. First coach to be fired.
Easy.
Taylor?
Easy.
Mike McCarthy.
I don't call. I'm skip me. I don't know.
All right.
Mike McCarthy.
Mike, you going McCarthy?
Yep.
Yeah. Chance?
I think he'll be fired, but I don't think he'll be fired first. No. Matt Rule. The only reason Matt Rule is still here is because of that contract.
I disagree because I think Baker's going to bring some life to Carolina, and they're going to be
where I'm at too.
They're going to be frisky.
No.
Mike McCarthy, I think Dallas is not going to be good, and nobody. If you're Jerry Jones is the owner, you're always on the hot seat. I don't care who you are, and unless you're somebody who he's absolutely loves and is like you're my son, then he'll give you 5 more years and he should actually be there.
I think Matt Rule is easily on the hottest seat of any NFL coach right now.
I agree with that.
Just because his tenure in Carolina has been fucking awful.
I agree that Matt Rule is absolutely has got the hottest seat in the NFL right now. That if I think odds on he is going to be the first. But I agree with JT. I think Baker's going to bring something to this team. I think Baker's going to bring a little something, and they're going to start. If they lose game 1, absolutely agree. I think if they lose game 1, I actually think he'll probably be.
I think they're playing Texans, right? Yeah, they're playing.
No, they play the Browns.
Oh, the Browns.
The Browns.
He was talking shit already.
Yeah, like I think if they lose to this Browns team that has just had this off season, I think he could actually lose his job straight away.
I don't think he'll be fired for week 1, but if they go like 0-5, 0-6, he's gone.
I just think McCaffrey's healthy. Baker's there. They're gonna, not because of him, the players are gonna extend his life a little bit.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna go 0-5 or 0-6 or whatever, because they play the Cardinals at least once, so they're gonna win one game. Like that's
Cardinals can't beat Panthers. Cardinals cannot beat Panthers. They haven't done it in the last 15 years.
Oh, that's true. They can't. I mean,
yeah.
Still, I know the odds are not in their favor, but I still think the
like last season that was the most embarrassing. Oh my god! When the Cardinals played them last season, I wanted to just die.
We made that was look good.
We made him look good. Okay, that was horrific.
Oh, that was funny. That was so funny.
So mine. Okay, I want it to be Mike McCarthy because I think he's horrendous, but also I don't because I want to watch my dad suffer as a Cowboys fan as much as possible. So I'm hoping that it's not, but I think it probably should be because whatever the hell happened last season was unacceptable.
Yeah,
like that was bad.
Yeah,
but here's going to be the thing.
I think up the middle with no timeouts, 13 seconds. Yeah. What are you doing?
But I think Peyton's going to get very bored. Broadcast as hosting and doing broadcast. I think he's going to get very bored. I think the Cowboys are going to have a rough start, and Jerry's just going to be like, "Saints, what do you want for him?" And I think that's just going to be what and it's going to be a Saints. What do you want for him?
If I'm the Saints, I'm telling you, go fuck yourself.
I mean, well, okay, but you may I wouldn't because I'd be like, we're going to get something from him at least, like. Otherwise, what? The contract expires in 2 years and you get nothing? If Cowboys are going, here's a first-round pick.
I mean, like, but that's me being a petty owner and GM, because, like, I would rather let the contract expire than give Dallas anything. And I know a lot of teams in the NFL feel that way. Maybe the Saints are in that crew.
Yeah. I mean, right now, everyone's feeling that way towards the Browns. Definitely. Yeah. Not like, but just because of the guaranteed contract, just the fully guaranteed. I am shocked if the Browns get anything from any other owner this year. I'll be shocked. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know if I 100% believe this, but given you guys have already given other answers, I'm going to just throw this one out. Robert Saleh.
I don't think so. I think just because he's in his first couple years.
He's in his third year.
No, second. Second.
Second. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
This is only his second year, so
Yeah.
I think unless like he's got I don't think he's a bad coach in that like I don't think he's not like Urban Meyer and he's like building like a really, really bad culture and like players don't like him. These players seem to like him. They just lack ability to win. So I mean, I feel like unless they're like outright terrible, maybe they'll get fired. But I think that next year, and if you want to throw out Robert Saleh, I might agree with you. But like right now, no, I don't think so. I don't think any like first or second year coach, except maybe McDaniels, is on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, if the Raiders start poorly,
if the Raiders start really bad, considering how disastrous his tenure in Denver was, I could see McDaniels.
Denver,
yeah. All right, let's move on. All right, let's do the three big ones, and then we can start talking about this game. All right. So, who is the MVP for the 2022 season? Taylor, I'm going to let you start.
Well, it's going to be my boy Herbie for sure. It is absolutely going to be Justin Herbert. Case closed. End of story. They're going to win that division, and it's going to be awesome, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So, you're welcome.
Okay.
Right.
Chance?
I got 4 words for you. Broncos country. Let's ride. I got Russell Wilson.
Wow, comeback season.
Russell Wilson winning his very first MVP, which I know is an insane, a bit of a reach. It's the sexy pick. I'll explain why. It's crazy to think just because this is a guy who always starts out looking like an MVP and usually peters out by the end of the season. And he's someone who has remarkably never received an MVP vote in his entire career. But I think that he is going to be the catalyst for the revival of Denver. Actually had them winning the West this year. I think he's going to be the catalyst for that revival because the one thing, though they were one piece away, that one piece was a competent quarterback. They have that now. They have a good offensive schemer, Nathaniel Hackett. And the last QB that played under Hackett was a back-to-back MVP. So I think it's going to be Russell Wilson's time.
I think whoever wins the AFC West is likely going to be MVP. Outside of probably Mahomes. I think if they win it, it probably won't be enough. But if Denver or the Chargers win it, it will probably be one of them getting MVP. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the boring one. My boy, Allen's getting it this year. I think Allen's gonna get it. I think I really think they're gonna go on a potentially like a 13 or 14 win season. I think they're
I don't disagree, and I have Sean McDermott winning Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a very, very good and scary team. So I've got I got my boy Allen. All right, JT.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jacob. I got Allen. I think this is the year of the Bills, in my opinion. I feel like what Justin Herbert is where Allen was a year or two ago. So we are seeing Josh Allen in his final form. I think that's where he got to at the end of last season. And I think that's just going to carry through to this season. And I think he's just going to be the standout. I mean, he's an impressive person to watch. Like, he went with Mahomes one-on-one, and I think the Bills should have won that game too. I don't know how that game was. It's hard to say who should have won. It was such a good game.
I mean, I know how they lost.
Yeah, I know how they lost.
13 seconds. That's how they lost.
Exactly. But I think they're going to be better this year, and they proved where they need to improve. So I got to give the Josh Allen.
Yeah. Wild card for me is Burrow coming in and I think having a blinder of a season.
Interesting.
But because again, they really found their form late in the season, so I think if they're able to build on that momentum again for this year, they could be a really scary team. But they've got to go up against Chance's Steelers, so who knows?
Yeah, we're going Super Bowl.
All right. Well, I think we've kind of revealed who ours. JTE and me have revealed who ours are. So, JTE, I just want to. Who's your Super Bowl winner this year?
Yeah, I got to go Buffalo Bills. I just think they have everything in place. I think they're much like the Rams, felt like they made the right moves to be. You could just tell they went all in. They went all in the year before they won the Super Bowl. And that whole season, it was either Super Bowl or bust. I feel like that's where the Bills are. They are Super Bowl or bust. They have the talent. Now is the time. You have to, the Rams got theirs, and I think they are going to have a little bit of that motivation. You know, they're just not going to be. They're not going to have the same drive or hunger. It's hard to go back and back Super Bowls. It has not happened since the Patriots. Seattle was close. Kansas City was close. Who stopped Kansas City from doing it?
I watched that game. Kansas City was not at all close.
No, they weren't close, but they made it to the Super Bowl.
They
So
got there, but the game was not at all close.
yeah, it's just very hard for a team to make it back there. So I don't know who the other team will be, but my money will be on the Bills to win it all.
Taylor?
I want to say the Bills really badly because
Okay.
I do think it is their season, and I really like the Bills, and I really like Josh Allen, and I want to see it happen. But the Super Bowl is in Arizona, and that stadium is cursed for Josh Allen. All right, and I'm terrified that it's going to be another like
Interesting.
Hail Murray situation where like
Mhm.
they're there, they've got it, and all of a sudden because the stadium is cursed for Josh Allen, something happens, and I'm going to be really sad. Like part of me can't get past that.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Also, I feel like it's going to be like a double stabbing of me because it'll be like, oh, Josh Allen's going to lose because it's a cursed stadium. But who's going to beat him? It's going to be fucking Tom Brady because you hate Tom Brady. So, of course, that's going to be what happens.
I
I
love
just
it.
feel like the universe wants me to suffer, and that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to say the Bills, but I have no confidence in it because the universe doesn't want me to be happy about sports teams winning things.
Okay.
Chance?
Yeah, I mean the Bills are the easy choice. I think they have a really good shot at it. I think they're up there for me. I am saying the Bills. I mean, I am saying the Bills are going to take
Wow.
it because they are like with the season they had in 2020 and 2021. They realized that like okay, no, the time is like we need to strike now. The time is now.
Mhm.
We need to do this. It's like JT said, it's like feels like very Detroit. I was going to say Detroit Rams, LA Rams situation
Yeah.
where it is Super Bowl or bust. Part of me would want them to go to the Super Bowl and lose because, like, if you go 0-5 in Super Bowls, delete your franchise.
Start the next 30 for 30, man.
Just throw the whole thing in the trash and start over. Just
Wow.
Bring back the New Jersey Generals. I don't care. Just delete your franchise if you go 0-5 in Super Bowls. But I actually would love it if it was Bills versus Vikings in the Super Bowl. I feel like that would be the first time there's no winner. Like, there's no end in tie.
It ends in a tie, and then the blackout happens, but they were never able to get the power back on.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be tied, and then blackout will happen, and nobody gets to win the game. But yeah, I have the Bills, and the organization, the fans, they better hope that it's the Bills.
I'm shocked.
I don't know what's going to happen if they fail again.
I honestly thought I was the only one who was going to say the Bills coming into this show. So I guess they're more favored than I thought.
Bills are the absolute favorite to win all of this. I think I'll be a little shocked if they did. Like, not shocked if they didn't because it is the Bills and it's also the Super Bowl. Like, it's the hardest. It's probably.
And it's also the AF. They're also in the AFC, so it's not going to be easy.
Like, look, this is probably the hardest competition to win. Like, and also out of all of the major sports, this one's probably one of the hardest ones to actually win because you've got to do it. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
That being said, I am saying Bills. I am 100% saying Bills. I think there is a chance the 49ers make the Super Bowl this year.
No.
Trey Lance is such a question mark, though.
I know he is. I know Trey Lance is the biggest question mark. He's the biggest question mark I've got. It's
Kyle Shanahan. What's the one thing?
Yeah.
Anytime
he's
gonna do something, he blows it.
Yeah, he'll blow it in the Super Bowl. He won't blow it. He has to.
He blew the NFC Championship game too. He blew it last year.
No, he didn't. Someone dropped the catch that would have won them.
Interception,
the game.
Interception.
Oh man, if he catches that ball, they make it. Which again would have been hilarious because it would have meant that every single team the 49ers played in that playoffs are their bogey team. The
I'm
team
so
that
happy
just
though.
could not beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
And it just would have been hilarious that's the track they would have had to winning a Super Bowl.
I was so happy to watch him beat Rodgers though, that game, because everyone had Green Bay winning that game. I was like, oh yeah.
I was so pissed. I was so
Not
That
I was
game was
just. I think
amazing.
you and I, Jacob, were just endlessly entertained because
Yeah,
we didn't
that's what I thought.
necessarily have anyone we were rooting for. Really,
Yeah.
like we were kind of just like, this is a fascinating, horrible, awesome game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that the game from last year that I'll never forget out of all of them was the Rams Bucks though, because that was
a good
when,
game.
like
Oh
when he
God,
and he came.
when it nearly happened.
Yeah, oh man, 28-3.
I-
I was like, come on, do it again.
Like when it nearly happened again.
I
And
know.
I remember when they were down 27-3 and people were like, surely he can't. And I was the one on me and
So
Taylor on
close.
Twitter were just like, it's going to happen.
I was
This is
watching
happening.
this. I'm just like, oh man, the Rams looking great. They're up by 27-3. Oh God.
Is that crazy though? He almost did it again. Like that's insane.
Well, he's a blown coverage away from doing it.
Yeah,
again.
his defense, his defense just couldn't stick.
He did
He
it
was
again.
doing
He
his
did
part. The defense was not holding up.
Absolutely did it again.
Yeah.
It was just blown coverage.
Oh,
that stopped it.
no, there's no almost. He did not do it again.
He can only play one side
You
of
win as
the
a team, you lose as a team.
exactly.
Yeah,
Brady.
no, I mean, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I just, my God, that just would have been.
The goat.
And I think it happening the same weekend. It happening the same weekend that Rodgers completely shat the bed
Shat
on
the
national
bed, yes.
television
Oh.
really didn't help.
You're bringing
The
me back
fact
to
that a
that
week-
weekend.
that-
It feels so good.
The fact that 2 weeks later they went, and MVP is Aaron Rodgers. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Move on.
For the season, yeah, no, Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers was the MVP.
I just think it was not a great look.
I love Stephen A. Smith. The next morning was like, I never want to hear Aaron Rodgers' name mentioned with Tom Brady's ever again. And that's like he's like the biggest Rodgers fan.
I mean, that's like Aaron Rodgers is not the reason he lost. He just couldn't bail them out the way he usually does.
Well, he was throwing to Adams, the only person he was throwing to. He wouldn't even give anybody else like his attention. He was
I
so
don't know.
laser focused.
If you can't score, if you can in a divisional game, if you can't score more than 10 points, especially after scoring 7 on the opening drive. So you spent the rest of the game not scoring a single point. That says something about it. That's not great.
Do you remember the year
It's
before
not-
that?
Year before that. Oh
When
yeah.
they decided to punt the ball back to Brady instead of letting Rodgers go for fourth
Well,
down.
not
instead.
They kicked the field goal.
They kick a field goal when
In
they
the
could have
hope
went for
the
it.
Defense
Yeah.
could hold
You're-
up.
What are you
No.
thinking? You're gonna kick? Let's give the ball back to Tom
Like,
Brady. What are you thinking?
You have Aaron Rodgers,
Oh,
the
I
best
know.
quarterback in the NFL,
Oh,
and you
God.
have your defense. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And they kick it back to Brady, and Brady just ends the game. I don't know what you're thinking.
But I think the last 3 years have detrimentally hurt Aaron Rodgers' legacy in that when the chips were down, they weren't able to do it. Brady threw 3 interceptions and he got 3 points out of it.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. And I don't like it just, there's things like that where when the chips are down, he's disappeared.
I mean, the
In the
game
last
is
3
a
years.
little more nuanced than that because you watch all the 3 games, especially like last year. Their line couldn't block anything. Their line couldn't block anything.
No.
They couldn't do anything with the ball because like he had no time to do
Mhm.
anything in the backfield. And also the failure of that game does not fall on Rodgers. It falls on their special teams. Their special teams
I
was
agree with that. No, the
they
special teams were
sucked.
terrible.
They were
all
horrible.
year.
Yeah.
Like you keep in mind, like had they not got the field goal blocked, had they not gotten the punt block, Green Bay's winning that game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Niners,
and we all go,
as bad as the Green Bay defense Green Bay offense was that game, the Niners was way worse.
yeah, but okay, they had Jimmy Garoppolo compared to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying that, Jimmy Garoppolo and Aaron Rodgers are on the same level, then
No.
I think we're.
I'm not saying that, like their offense was worse. Like doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter. He only put up 7 points. Jimmy G only put up 3. Actually, no, he didn't put up any.
No, yeah, he didn't. He didn't put up any points.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the failure of last year's on the special teams, which should hopefully be better now they got Rich Bisaccia. So I don't fault Rodgers for last year's collapse.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the opening game this Thursday night or Friday day if you are like us in Australia. So, we obviously have the Rams versus the Bills. The Rams are going to be able to do the full ceremony inside their stadium that they share custody of, which is still weird. What are they? I'm fascinated by what they're going to do with that. If they're going to have like one side of it is the Rams side and the other side's the Chargers or something. Like what their goal with that is.
Yeah, they do it with the Clippers, the Lakers, so we're used to it out here.
Oh yeah, true, fair enough.
Mhm.
So, what are your thoughts? Who do you think's going to win, and what do you think the game's going to be like? Chance, I'm going to start with you.
I think this is going to be very close. I think this will be a preview of the next Super Bowl. But I do have the Rams eking out just because, look, the Bills added a lot of pieces to their defense to improve that. They had their offense, which is also always super potent, especially with the addition of James Cook at running back, because that's the one thing they lacked. They lacked an elite run game. But I think if there's any team that has the defense to stop the Bills, it's the Rams. So I'm going Rams.
Okay, Taylor.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting game because I think it's two very strong teams that if they don't both make it to the Super Bowl, I think they're both going to at least make it very, very far. I think there's a lot of expectation on both of these teams, so it'll be a really, really cool opening game to kind of set the tone for the whole season, hopefully. I'm hoping that's what it is and not just some weird blowout game where we all go, what the hell did we just watch? Like, one of these teams is definitely in trouble. But I think I don't know. I don't know who I think is going to win. It's tough. I do think it's probably going to be a Rams win, begrudgingly, as much as I hate that sentence coming out of my mouth. I do. I think they have so much of the same structure in place that they had last season for the most part, and I think they're just going to be ready to go, kind of hit the ground running, not going to really have a lot of struggles or adjustments to make. Whereas I'm not sure what to expect out of the Bills. I'm hoping they don't have a rough start to the season. I'm hoping there's not a lot that they need to make adjustments for, but we'll see. I'm just hoping it's a good, exciting game. That's really all I want out of it. Because if it ends up being a blowout either way, or just a game where it turns into ref ball the whole game, or, whatever, just please don't give me that. Like, anything but that, please.
All right, JT.
Yeah, so if this was a little bit later in the season, I would go Bills right out of the gate because I do have them. I think they're just going to have an awesome year. But even that said, I think the Rams it's going to be a very close game. I think the Rams are coming off the ceremony. They're going to be pumped up. Let's go. But I think at the end of the game, I think the Bills will eke it out with maybe like by a field goal. They're going to win, but by the skin of their teeth. I'm going to give it to the Bills only because I just think they're the better team. And I think the Rams coming off a Super Bowl, I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. I think they accomplished what they need to accomplish, and the motivation. It's just hard to get motivated like you were the year you're trying to win a Super Bowl. They did it. They could relax a little bit. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I just think the Bills are more hungry, and that will eke them out the win.
I am also going to go with the Bills. I agree. I think if this was later in the season, I think this would be a much more kind of easier matchup to make of I think that the Bills would very much win it, but I think this one is going to come down to, I'm going to say a last minute touchdown by Josh Allen to get them over the line, kind of like the Chiefs game.
Mm-hmm.
So that is I'm going to say Bills. But I'm very excited, and I agree with you guys. I just hope it's a good game. I don't want a blowout. I think a blowout. I think any game where you open it up with a blowout is just not great. But hopefully LA delivers and we get decent weather as well.
It'll be hot as hell if it's like it is right now.
I think it could actually be a massive factor.
I think it's going to be like 88 next Thursday, so it might be. Where the stadium is, it might be closer to 80. So they might be okay. And it's nighttime, so they'll be fine.
All right. Well, so we do have one last crazy. This is just your crazy all or nothing prediction. All right. What is the one big one that you have Chance, you seem excited for this. So what's yours?
Because I have like 3.
Okay, what? All right.
Rapid fire.
Okay, so one is I think the Patriots are going to be very bad this week. I think they're going to miss the playoffs, and as a result, Belichick is going to retire.
Wow, I don't
Okay.
know about that, but I'll give you the
I
first
think it's
part.
going to be Belichick's last year as a head coach in the NFL.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
2, I don't think Tom Brady finished the season. I think at some point something's going to happen. He's going to get hurt, or he's going to call it quits midway through, and he is not going to play full 17 games.
I'll give you the injury. I'll give you the injury part, but that man will not quit mid-season. It's not built that way.
Midway, he's going to get a call from Giselle, be like, "Hey, I got a divorce lawyer on line 2. You're either going to come home, or I'm going to finish this phone call. Make your choice, Tom."
Tom will be like, "Let me win this Super Bowl, and I'll get back to you." That's Tom's. That's his motto. He's not going to stop.
No, he's not going to finish this season. I guarantee you. Something's
only
gonna
if
happen.
he's hurt. Only if he's hurt.
All right. I'll give you. This isn't tied to mine, but I'll give you a little one to this. I think he finishes the season. I just don't know if it's going to be on the Bucks.
Oh, you think he gets traded halfway through?
I think he might.
Okay, well, one more.
First of all, we've been down that alley. Tampa will not trade him. They made that pretty clear. They will not let him go. I think here's the reason why I don't think he'll just retire, because the optics of him unretiring, and then retiring mid-season, it just looks too bad on him. And I don't think he wants. That's not how he's not going to want to end his season.
Optics.
He cares about the game, and he would never commit. He said this in interviews: if you commit to a season, you commit 100% from the beginning end. He's not the type that would quit his team halfway through. It'd be bad for his legacy.
Outside of New England, here we are.
Yeah, but he went to our team. He needed to leave and be like, "I'm out."
But look, one way or another, I think Brady is not going to finish the year. And last one, I have Dan Campbell winning Coach of the Year.
All right. Okay. All right, JT.
I think my biggest. This was tough. At first I was like, I don't know if I have a really hot take, but I think Lamar Jackson is going to have a subpar season. I think he's going to force a lot of balls down. He doesn't have Hollywood Brown anymore. He's trying to get that contract. Some players, when they know they have a contract year coming up, they ball out. They go crazy, and because they want to get as much money as possible. I just think with the way he plays, it's dangerous. He could be injured by the end of the season. He could easily be injured mid-season. And I think he's going to force the ball down the field way too much. He's going to scramble more than he has to. He's going to try to do too much to the point where I think it's going to affect his game and actually bring his value down as a quarterback. I am always like listen, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I like the mobile quarterbacks. Like Mahomes is the perfect mix. He's accurate. He's able to extend plays. But I like the fact we got Mac Jones because I don't like these quarterbacks. I've seen too many RG3s and some of these other players whose careers are just cut short and Russell Wilson used to run a lot. And even then, he kind of was like, I got to stop running so much. My career is not going to last as long as some of these other great players because I'm putting myself in harm's way. But I think Lamar thinks the opposite. I just think he's going to press it down the field too much. He's going to run it too much, and it's going to affect the team and affect his play. And he's not going to get the large contract that he wants because he's not going to be seen as an elite quarterback like he was going into the season.
Okay. Taylor?
I had a couple the other day, and I can't remember what they were when we were talking about them. I remember one of them, but I can't remember what the other ones were. One of them is that every single division is going to have a different winner than they did last season.
Even really, everyone, even the
every single one. Yep.
So who's winning the AFC East then? that's my question.
Listen, it doesn't have to be an accurate take. It has to be a hot take. That's my hot take. And also because I do expect this season to be a bit chaotic. Like I do think it's going to be, especially in the AFC. I just don't think it's going to be predictable in any sort of way. And the NFC is just a garbage fire. So again, anything could happen. I'm trying to remember, what were my other ones? I had two other ones that we talked about, and I can't remember what they were.
Can't remember what they were either.
Tom Brady.
I remember that. No. I remember that one though. I do remember that one and being like, "You're crazy," because it's
Yeah,
kind of
well.
like one of mine. But
Because
Yeah, I can't
I
remember.
think it's very close to happening.
yeah,
There's a few outliers. Like again, AFC East. Like I think there's no team that's going to upset the Bills. Although if they did, I'm going to cackle.
So that's I'm gonna stay with that one because I can't remember the other ones I had, but I like that one, so I'm sticking with it.
okay. So I've got two.
Go.
Rams, Bills will be the only teams who win their division in 2021 to do so again. So that means Bengals, Titans, Chiefs, Bucks, Packers, and Cowboys all do not win their division.
Okay.
I think you're mostly right, except for like a few cases.
Who's winning the Green Bay division now?
I think Vikings.
He likes
really
the
like
Vikings.
I really like
here.
the Vikings
Yeah.
this year.
You really
I
like
like
Cousins?
the Vikings.
You trust Cousins?
I like I don't love Cousins, but I like
Mhm.
I like the coach that they just got.
Okay.
O'Connell.
Cousins is
I
like
like
he's good
O'Connell
all
as a coach.
season. Cousins
And I
is good
re-
all
but I-
season, and then when the biggest moment comes, he just doesn't show up almost every time. It's
Yeah,
frustrating. 'cause I like Minnesota.
but that's what I'm getting at with. I think he'll win the division. I don't think Vikings are going
Okay.
anywhere in the playoffs,
Gotcha,
but I could
gotcha.
see them winning the division because
Okay.
my God, the weapons they have, like
Mhm.
the weapons that Vikings team has, are incredible.
Oh yeah,
So-
Jalen Reagor.
Okay, but
Wide
Jefferson,
receiver one.
but like having Jefferson, having Cook, like
Thielen.
that's a damn good team. And yeah, like I'll admit, Cousins is the thing that holds me back and is making me worried. But
Mhm.
I still think, you know, I still think they're going to get it. And
They're gonna be
so, which to me, my other big one is one of the Chiefs, Packers, or Bucks will not make the playoffs.
If it's
Chiefs, Packers, or Bucks?
Yeah, one of them are not making the playoffs.
If it's any one of them, it's the Bucks.
No, I think if it's any one of them, it's probably Green Bay.
No,
They have no weapons on offense.
They
I don't know. I think
weapons on offense. There was something before.
The Bucks have weapons.
I think it could end up being the Chiefs with that
Yeah,
AFC West
but like
division.
the Bucks O line is dropping like flies.
That's the thing that's gotten me terrified for the
Tom
Bucks.
Brady gets rid of the ball in 2 seconds. He knows where the ball's going to go before they even try. As a Patriot fan, let me tell you, we had some horrible offensive lines for many years, and Brady
He's
always
45 now, though.
Your line were never that bad.
There were some bad years. I guarantee you. I watched Brady was just getting hit like trust me, we had some bad O lines. They weren't horrible, but they weren't good. Brady, he's just too quick with the ball. He's too quick. The Rams Super Bowl, when the last time the Patriots played the Rams, and they were I watched the Mike Up episode, and Bosa was on the sideline. He goes, he just gets rid of the ball so fast, I can't get to him. And that's just what it frustrates the defense because they take all this energy to try to get to Brady before they can put their head up. The ball's gone. So I think Brady will counter that bad offensive line. That's what he does.
But he could still very much get injured.
Yeah,
Of course. Anybody can get injured in this in NFL. Anybody can get
that
injured.
O-line is so bad.
He will Brady in the last few years, he will get rid of that ball before he takes a hit. He's going to get hit, obviously, but if he thinks he's going to get hit, he'll get rid of the ball.
That's only going to work for so long. It's only going to work for so long.
And listen, he just has to throw a Hail Mary to Mike Evans and he'll get a pass interference. He'll be fine. It's literally what happened in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They just kept flagging Mike Evans because Mike Evans would just run and they would grab him and Brady would just throw it his way. That's how they got down the field half the time.
Well, that's this first episode. We'll be back next week and we can preview we can talk about the game that we have all witnessed and then preview the first official week of the NFL. Guys, I want to thank you very much for joining us. Chance, where can they find you online?
Twitter, Instagram at ChanceWars_91. Check out my podcast, Choice by Chance. Check out the PJ Campbell Network, where I am a regular. We have the PJ Campbell Show, Fistful of Movies, which are going to be launching very soon, and my weekly sports show, Left Side, Strong Side, which we do every Tuesday after the preceding NFL week. Our first one debuts this next Tuesday. And yeah, that's about it for me.
And JTE, where can they find you?
You just find me on Twitter at JTE Movie Thinks. Yeah, whatever I'm doing is usually on there. I don't have a sports show, so I'll be happy to come on. I don't. So yeah, anytime you need me, I'll jump on.
Taylor?
You can find me here on this channel a lot of the time when I decide I'm not going to be lazy and I'm going to record something. You can find me.
I'm waiting for that
online.
video commentary for Elvis.
Oh,
It's on HBO
yeah.
Max now. Come on.
I know, it's coming. It'll probably be like
Okay.
a 5-hour video too. It'll be obnoxious.
I love it. I can't wait.
You can find me pretty much everywhere online at Finally Tailored, Letterboxd, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. All the links will be in the description for everybody though that's been on the show, so you can find where everybody's at.
And you can find me at pretty much everywhere, just at Jacob London. Thank you very much for this, guys. This was a lot of fun, and we can't wait to. I just cannot wait. Football's back, and I'm very excited, and
So excited.
cannot wait for football to be back. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.